All right, buckle up because we're diving into something pretty unique today, like seriously unique.
On me.
An AI-generated concept album, I kid you not.
Okay, that's a new one.
Right. We're talking AI Gen, TATANKA's Sonic Time Machine, 𝗧𗧿𗓼𝗧, Who Am I? An instrumental temporal trek. Try saying that 3 times fast.
I'll stick to just once.
Good call. So Tatanka, that's the artist or organization behind it all. And the album, well, the article we're using as our map for this deep dive describes it as this sonic journey through time, all guided by a Maori woman named Arahi.
A time-traveling musical adventure, I'm listening.
Exactly. And get this, it's all instrumental, no lyrics, just pure musical storytelling.
That's pretty ambitious. I mean, to convey a whole narrative, a time-traveling one of that purely through music, that takes serious skill.
For sure, but it's not just about the musical chops, right? I mean, having Arahi as this Maori protagonist, that adds a whole other dimension to the story.
Absolutely, and the article really dives into that, the whole Maori storytelling tradition, the emphasis on strong female figures. It's like Arahi's journey is built on this foundation, makes the music even richer, you know?
Totally, and then there's the album title, 𝗧𗧿𝗓𝗼, which means, who am I?
A question we all ask ourselves at some point, right?
Exactly. So it's like this album is inviting us all on this journey of self-discovery, using music as the vehicle.
It's like Arahi's story becomes a mirror for our own searches for meaning and identity. How cool is that?
All right, so let's talk more music. Let's actually jump into the Sonic Odyssey, yeah? 16 tracks, each a different era, starting with, get ready for it, prehistoric rhythms, UDNUNKI.
Which translates to?
Ancient day sound or primal rhythm, something like that.
So we're going way back to the roots of it all.
Literally, because the article specifically mentions ancient New Zealand trees, the tikuka and tutara, their sounds woven into the music.
I'm already intrigued. So it's not just generic drums and chanting. It's like they're trying to recreate a specific soundscape, prehistoric New Zealand.
Exactly. We're not just hearing rhythm. We're being transported.
Very cool.
Okay, next stop on Arahi's time-traveling playlist is Ancient Echoes E2 NUMEN-KAI.
House of Ancient Sound, or Echoes of the Past. I'm guessing this is where things get a bit more, shall we say, global.
You got it. Think ancient Egypt, Greece, Mesopotamia, the whole shebang.
The music of lyres and flutes, all these cultures coming together through their music.
It's like a sonic tapestry of ancient civilizations.
And it makes you think about how music transcends borders, right?
Yeah.
Even back then, these different cultures, they were all expressing themselves through music, finding those common threads of human experience.
Seriously, how cool would it be to actually hear those ancient tunes? What stories would they tell? Okay, moving right along, we've got medieval melodies, NUN, 𝗧𝗕𝗕3.
Lord of the Sound or Melodies of the Land, we're talking Gregorian chants, early folk music, right?
Yeah. Full disclosure, when I think medieval music, my brain goes straight to those epic movie battle scenes.
Yeah, I get that, but I think this is more about capturing the spirit of the age.
The quiet side of medieval life, the chants in the cathedrals, the stories of the troubadour.
Exactly. It's a different kind of epic, one that speaks to the soul.
Okay, so we've gone from primal rhythms to ancient echoes to the solemnity of medieval melodies. What's next?
Only one way to find out. Hit me with track 4.
Renaissance Revival UDNUNKE3, which, if you're keeping score at home, brings back the ancient day sound of the Lord, but with a Renaissance twist.
So it's not just about the music of the Renaissance. It's about how that era reinterpreted those ancient sounds.
Precisely. Think lutes, viols, those beautiful choral harmonies.
It's like they took those ancient rhythms and melodies and breathed new life into them, infused them with the elegance and grandeur of the Renaissance.
Okay, but what about someone who's not a Renaissance music aficionado? What makes it distinct?
That's a good question. One key thing is polyphony. Multiple melodies happening at the same time creates this rich, layered sound, very intricate.
So it's like those ancient rhythms are the foundation, and the Renaissance is building upon them.
Adding layers of complexity and beauty.
It makes me want to hear this album for myself, you know. But speaking of complexity and beauty, we can't forget about the Baroque period, right? That's where things get really ornate.
Cue the harpsichords and early orchestras. Track 5, Baroque Brilliance Nanen Ki Io Ub, meaning Lord of the Sound, shining brightly, or brilliant melodies. This is where we get those dramatic, theatrical compositions.
Think Bach, Handel, Vivaldi, the big names, right?
Exactly, pushing the boundaries of what music could express.
But even in all that grandeur, those ancient sounds, they're still there, right? Like a thread running through the whole album.
It's like music is this conversation across time, each era adding its own voice. but they're all speaking the same language, the language of music.
So we've gone from primal rhythms to the ornate sounds of the Baroque. Where does Arahi's journey take us next?
Well, hold on to your powdered wigs, because we're stepping into the world of classical clarity, E2, NUN Kai I at 3.
House of ancient sound, clear and pure, or classical clarity. The era of Mozart, Beethoven, Haydn, the masters of melody and structure.
Music as a perfectly balanced equation, all about clarity and form.
But hold on, if everything's so balanced and clear, how do those raw, primal, ancient sounds even fit in? It seems like such a contrast.
That's the challenge, right? How are those ancient elements expressed within the framework of classical music? Maybe it's in the rhythmic undercurrents or the ways certain melodies evoke a sense of timelessness.
It's like a musical puzzle. I love it.
And it's a puzzle that reflects a broader shift in society and artistic ideals, setting the stage for a dramatic turn in Arahi's journey.
Okay, you can't just leave me hanging like that. Spill the tea. What happens next in this sonic adventure?
Well, let's just say things are about to get a lot more passionate and emotionally charged. Buckle up, because we're heading into the Romantic era.
The drama. I can't wait, but I think we'll have to save that for the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds like a plan.
Stay tuned, folks. This time-traveling musical adventure is just getting started.
And trust me, it's one you won't want to miss. All right, so we're leaving behind the powdered wigs and the perfectly balanced phrases.
Time to let loose.
You could say that, yeah, we're diving headfirst into the Romantic era, overflowing with emotions, dramatic flourishes, the whole 9 yards.
Sounds intense.
Oh, it is. Track number 7, Romantic Rhapsodies, NUN Kai I 3.
Let me guess. Lord of the Sound, romantic and expressive.
You got it. Or Romantic Rhapsodies. Either way, we're talking about music that's all about evoking deep feelings, painting pictures with sound. Think Chopin, Tchaikovsky, Liszt.
To the masters of melodrama.
Well, not exactly melodrama, but definitely a shift from that classical restraint. It's like the music becomes this mirror reflecting the composer's inner world.
And by extension, our own inner worlds as listeners.
Precisely. It's about connecting with those raw emotions, the joy, the sorrow, the love, the longing, all of it.
So where do those ancient sounds fit into all this? I mean, from prehistoric rhythms to romantic rhapsodies, it seems like a bit of a stretch.
That's the beauty of it. Even in this highly personal, emotionally charged music, those echoes of the past are still there.
Subtle but present.
Exactly. Maybe it's in the harmonies, or the way a simple melody can tap into something primal, something timeless.
Okay, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, but enough with the emotional introspection. Let's liven things up a bit, yeah.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Track 8, 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗏 NUN Kai I 3.
Hit me, Rami.
Ancient day sound of the Lord, lively and energetic. Or Jazz Age Jive, flapper dresses, speakeasies, Louis Armstrong blown that trumpet.
Ah, the Roaring '20s, a time of upheaval, experimentation, the birth of jazz.
And jazz was revolutionary. It challenged musical norms, embraced improvisation, gave a voice to a generation that was breaking free.
Absolutely, and that ties back into the album's whole "Who Am I" theme. Jazz was all about forging a new identity, musically and culturally.
It makes you wonder how Arahi, traveling through all these musical shifts, how it affects her own sense of identity.
Right. Does she embrace the rebellious spirit of jazz, or does she hold on to her Maori heritage? The album leaves it open for interpretation.
Love that. Okay, next track. And this one's right up your alley, I think.
Oh, you've piqued my curiosity. What is it?
Track 9, Rock and Roll Revolution, NEI3OO.
Bring on the noise. Lord of the Sound, revolutionary and powerful, or rock and roll revolution. This is where things get really electrifying.
You know, when I think of rock and roll, I think about my first concert. I was maybe 15. It was pure chaos, mosh pits, screaming fans, music that just hit you right in the gut.
That's the essence of rock and roll. Pure energy, youthful rebellion, a complete departure from the more refined sounds of earlier eras.
It's like those ancient rhythms got plugged into an amp and suddenly they had this raw power, this attitude.
But it's not all about loud guitars and rebellious lyrics. There's a depth and complexity to rock that often gets overlooked.
So many subgenres, each with its own story to tell.
Exactly. From the bluesy roots to the psychedelic experimentation, it's a whole musical universe.
Speaking of psychedelic experimentation, I think it's time we took a trip to the psychedelic 60s E2 NUN Ky 3.
House of Ancient Sound, psychedelic and exploratory, or psychedelic 60s. This is where things get really trippy.
The Beatles, Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix, artists who were pushing the boundaries of music and, well, consciousness itself.
It was a time of social and political upheaval. Music became this outlet for hopes, fears, dreams of a generation that was questioning everything.
Okay, but how does psychedelic exploration connect to those ancient sounds we've been talking about? Seems like a pretty big leap.
That's where the harmony of the spheres comes in. Ever heard of that?
It rings a bell, but I can't quite place it.
It's this ancient idea that the movements of celestial bodies, the planets, the stars, they create this kind of celestial music, a cosmic harmony.
Okay, so not literally planets making sounds, but
Yeah.
this underlying order, connecting everything in the universe.
Exactly. And in the context of this album, it suggests that music itself is part of that cosmic harmony. It's not just entertainment. It's this fundamental force connecting us to something larger than ourselves.
So in the psychedelic 60s track, those soundscapes aren't just random experimentation, they're tapping into something cosmic.
Right, those ancient rhythms and melodies, they're woven into the fabric of the universe itself.
My mind is officially blown.
It's a journey of self-discovery, not just through music, but through the very nature of existence.
Okay, deep thoughts aside, I think it's time to hit the dance floor.
I'm with you. What's next?
Track 11, Disco Inferno, 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗞𝗔. Ancient Day, Sound of the Lord, Fiery and Passionate, or Disco Inferno, Let's Groove.
Disco, huh? Interesting choice.
Right. I mean, disco's all about letting loose, having fun, while those ancient sounds are more about ritual and reverence.
Maybe that's the point, finding the sacred in the secular, recognizing that even in the most seemingly frivolous forms of music, there's a connection to something deeper.
Like finding the ancient rhythm of the heartbeat in the thumping bass line of a disco track.
Exactly. It's all connected.
All right, let's keep this musical time machine rolling. What comes after the Disco Inferno?
Hold on to your hats. We're about to enter the decade of synthesizers and big hair, the 1980s, 80s synthwave NUN, 𝗑ᗕᗕ𝗄𝗡, Lord of the Sound, synthetic and futuristic, or simply 80s synthwave.
The era of neon and shoulder pads, this is where those ancient sounds get a serious technological makeover, right?
Absolutely. The 80s were all about technology, and music reflected that. Synthesizer became the dominant instrument. Everything had this electronic, futuristic vibe.
It's like those prehistoric rhythms got reborn in the digital age.
Transformed but not erased. Those ancient echoes are still there.
It makes you wonder, though, does technology enhance or diminish those ancient sounds? Do we lose something in the process of modernization?
It's a question worth pondering, and it becomes even more relevant as we move into the next track, a bit of a two-for-one deal.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Track 13, 90s grunge and hip-hop 2 inuen, 𝗑ᗕᗕ𝗄𝗡. House of Ancient Sound, grungy and hip-hop. Or simply 90s grunge and hip-hop. We're talking flannel, angst, and beats.
What a combo. Grunge with its raw emotion and hip-hop with its rhythmic wordplay. It's like two sides of the same 90s coin.
Both reflecting a generation grappling with disillusionment, searching for authenticity.
And both tapping into that ancient sound, that primal energy driving human expression.
Exactly. Grunge stripped away the artifice, got to the emotional core, while hip-hop used rhythm and rhyme to tell stories, challenged the status quo.
But how do those two very different sounds even work together? Is it a clash or a collaboration?
That's the beauty of this album. It's not just about recreating genres. It's about finding those unexpected connections, those points where seemingly different styles intersect and create something new.
A musical melting pot. All right, we've explored the 90s. Time to jump into the new millennium. What musical adventures await?
Get ready for a sonic smorgasbord. Because track 14, Millennium Mix UD Unknown in 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗞𝗔, Ancient Day Sound of the Lord, Mixed and Diverse, or Millennium Mix, takes us into a world of sonic fusion.
So everything but the kitchen sink.
Pretty much. The 21st century is all about breaking down barriers, blending genres. It's a reflection of our globalized world.
It's like Arahi's journey is mirroring the evolution of music itself, from those ancient localized sounds to this globalized mix.
Yet, even in this mix of everything, those ancient sounds are still there, transformed, reimagined, but never completely lost.
Okay, I'm ready to hear what the future sounds like. Hit me with it.
Track 15, Near Future, Noon N, 𝗑ᗕᗕ𝗄𝗡𝗏, Lord of the Sound, Near and Future, or Near Future. This is where music and technology become one.
AI-generated compositions, soundscapes from data, music that pushes the boundaries of what we even consider music.
It's a brave new world of sonic possibilities, raising questions about creativity and technology's role in the future of music.
Algorithms composing symphonies. It's both fascinating and a little unsettling.
Imagine algorithms analyzing all the music ever created, then using that information to create something totally new.
It's like those ancient sounds being fed into a digital melting pot, and what comes out is something alien yet familiar.
But even in this high-tech soundscape, the human element remains. The desire to express, to connect, to transcend.
Right, technology is just a tool. The heart of music is still human.
And that brings us to the final track, where that human connection to something larger takes center stage.
All right, grand finale time. Let's hear it.
Track 16, Distant Future and Beyond 𝗧𝗔𝗧𝗔𝗡𝗏 and 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, House of Ancient Sound, Distant and Beyond, or Distant Future and Beyond. This is where things get cosmic.
So Arahi's at the edge of time. What does she hear?
Imagine a soundscape that encompasses the vastness of space, the echoes of time, the music of the universe itself. The article talks about the sounds at the end of time. It's like those ancient rhythms and melodies have reached their ultimate destination, a cosmic symphony.
Chills, literal chills. It's like Arahi's journey isn't just about music, it's about understanding our place in the universe.
And that brings us full circle to the question, who am I? Maybe the answer isn't in defining ourselves, but in recognizing that we're part of something much bigger, something ancient and timeless, connected through time, through history, through music.
It's like music gives us this glimpse into that cosmic harmony, that underlying order connecting everything.
And in a world that's so fragmented, that message feels incredibly important. Music can bring us together, remind us of our shared humanity, help us find meaning in the chaos.
Makes you think about how we listen to music. Are we just consuming it, or are we actively searching for those deeper connections, those moments of transcendence?
It's a question worth asking because music, when we truly listen, can transform us, open our hearts, expand our minds.
So as we move into the final part of our deep dive, let's keep that in mind. This album isn't just about listening, it's about exploring, reflecting, and understanding the power of music to connect us to something bigger than ourselves. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
From prehistoric rhythms to the music of the distant future.
But I'm still kind of stuck on that harmony of the spheres idea. It's like, I get it, but I don't get it, you know?
It's a heady concept, for sure. This idea that the movements of celestial bodies, planets, stars, they create this kind of celestial music. It's been around for centuries.
Like a cosmic symphony, but it's not literal sound, right?
It's more about this underlying order, a cosmic harmony that connects everything in the universe. And in the context of this album, I think it's suggesting that music itself is part of that harmony.
So when Arahi reaches that distant future and beyond track, she's not just hearing some futuristic soundscape, she's tapping into something much bigger.
The music of the universe itself, yeah, it's like those ancient rhythms, those melodies. They've evolved into this cosmic symphony spanning time and space.
Wow. Okay, now that's a thought. And it makes this whole album even more profound. It's not just a musical journey, it's a journey into the heart of what it means to be human.
We're all searching for our place in the universe, trying to connect with something larger than ourselves. And music can be that bridge.
It's like music gives us this glimpse into that cosmic harmony, that underlying order that connects everything, reminds us that we're not just isolated individuals, we're part of something much bigger, something ancient and timeless.
It all comes back to that central question, who am I? Maybe the answer isn't about defining ourselves, but about recognizing that we're part of this vast interconnected web, connected through time, through history, through the music that flows through us all.
It's like Arahi's journey is a metaphor for our own search for meaning and identity.
We're constantly evolving, exploring, but there's always that thread connecting us to our past, to our origins, to that ancient sound that resonates within us all.
So powerful.
And in a world that's increasingly fragmented, that message feels more important than ever. Music can bring us together, remind us of our shared humanity, help us find meaning in the chaos.
It really makes you think about how we listen to music. Are we just passively consuming it, or are we actively searching for those deeper connections, those moments of transcendence?
That's the challenge I think this album puts forth, to truly listen, to let music transform us, open our hearts, expand our minds.
Yeah, to connect with that cosmic harmony. So as we wrap up our deep dive into TATANKA's Sonic Time Machine, it's clear that this isn't just some random concept album.
It's an invitation, an exploration of the power of music to connect us to our past, to each other, and to the very essence of existence.
And it's a reminder that music is constantly evolving, just like we are. Who knows what future generations will create?
But that ancient sound, that primal rhythm of life, it'll always be there, echoing through the music of the future, connecting us to something timeless and profound.
It's like TATANKA has given us this glimpse into the infinite possibilities of music.
The potential is limitless.
It's up to us to keep listening, keep exploring, and keep searching for those moments of sonic wonder.
The kind that remind us of our place in the harmony of the spheres.
Beautifully said. Well, folks, that's our deep dive for today. Until next time, keep those ears open and those minds curious because there's a whole world of sonic wonders out there waiting to be discovered.